Hey everybody, this is GGB Co-host Puppers, and as you can see, this is a very close game before the FCS between the FCS Division II, Division III Packers and the SEC Browns. I mean, obviously that's a joke. I mean, right? 50-0. For some reason, I have a hypothesis that they're not coming back in this game, just for some reason. But anyways, let's talk about stuff. We're like a little family here at GGB. I mean, it's just kind of me and other people. But let's just get into it. I hope you guys are enjoying these. It does take a lot of effort to make them, so please go and smash the like button. Let's just hope this game ends quickly because, I mean, this is obviously a bad game. So, why waste time on it? I mean, I guess you guys are going to waste a whole day on it. But, check on Saturday, and we'll be posting our first ACC at Big Ten game. Definitely looks like the SEC is going to make it to the Super Bowl. So, after today, we'll have 8 more episodes. So, be hyped for that. It's going to be a great time for everyone. We're going to get to see the ACC, which has proven to be a pretty good team so far, taking down the Big 12. And the Big 10, who dominated against the Independents. While the Independents aren't that good, the way they beat them definitely could make them a very good team. Big 10 also won the Conference of Champions last year, so keep that in mind. They're a very good football team. The number 2 seed overall. Same overall as these SEC Browns. So, these teams are very good, so definitely going to be interesting to see the next matchup. Fortunately for the FCS Division II, Division III Packers, they didn't have the stuff to make it all the way to the Super Bowl, but they did have a good year, so I wouldn't be disappointed in them. They're probably going to have the tie for the 3rd best year. So, I mean, that's not bad. But it's not great either. Obviously, you'd like to have the best year, which the SEC is going to have the chance to do. So, you go handoff here. Another run. But let's talk about actual teams, I guess. Since this is just make-believe, and the make-believe is kind of boring, let's talk about next year's Browns, actual Cleveland Browns team. They didn't get any first-round picks this year because, you know, they're the Cleveland Browns. But, well, I don't remember Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns are just kind of, if they're not drafting number 1 overall, I feel like they just don't value their draft pick at all. And oh my God, Stafford has forever to throw this thing, and he gets a touchdown. Oh my God, that rush never really got there. Evans with his 2nd touchdown, but honestly, the Browns don't seem like they drafted all in the first round. I mean, for the past few years, I mean, like, they had the number 1 overall picks, but it seems like other than that, they're just like, if we're not drafting number 1 in the overall, then what's the point of drafting at all? Oh, wait, never mind. They drafted this year. I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute fool. But they did get a good offensive tackle to help protect Baker Mayfield. Definitely needs protection if the Browns want to compete next year, which I don't even know if they're going to be able to do, considering how great a team the Ravens have put together, and considering Lamar Jackson is looking amazing. But he's made them reach the playoffs twice, but I'd like to point out that he has the same amount of wins in the playoffs that Andy Dalton does. He's 0-2, if you didn't know, in the playoffs. He lost in the wild card round 2 years ago to the Chargers, and this year he lost in the divisional rounds to the Tennessee Titans. So who knows if he'll actually ever get a playoff W. I mean, Cincinnati never did with Andy Dalton. But we might be starting to see a dynasty here in the AFC by the Chiefs, and I just don't know if you can actually compete with that. The Chiefs are just look like, honestly, one of the best teams in a long time. I mean, they have the chance to rival the Patriots with this run. They got their 2nd ever Super Bowl ring. Nice for Andy Reid. He ended up getting his 1st ever Super Bowl ring, basically solidifying his Hall of Fame campaign or Hall of Fame record. But he has a chance to do something that not a lot of coaches get to do, and it's start a dynasty when you're super kind of old. I mean, a lot of people were thinking Andy Reid might retire soon, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't retire now if I was Andy Reid. You couldn't pay me enough to retire. You could finally have a chance to get all the Super Bowl rings you've been wanting your entire career. And it's definitely possible with Patrick Mahomes in that offense. As long as that defense plays subpar, Mahomes will drive that team down the field a whole bunch. You got talents like Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins is coming back, McCole Hardman is young and is able to make plays, Travis Kelce, and then they finally get some. They have running backs on they're going with a group running back team, but I mean the passing threat of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which I don't think he's a great runner. That's the thing that I was down on him on. It's the fact that I don't think he's a really good runner. I don't think he's as good as Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Swift or J.K. Dobbins at running the football, but I think he's a great receiving threat. And if that's how the Chiefs are going to use him, I'm actually fine with him being drafted in the first round there. He is a very good player catching the ball, yeah. But if we want him to run, I feel like running would probably be more of Damian Williams' expertise or maybe Shady. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next year in the AFC. But let's talk about the NFC and these Packers. It's ridiculous. What is happening? What are the Packers doing? I'm honestly super confused. Because, I mean, I'm fine with them drafting Jordan Love in the first round. Do that. I mean, that's what they did. I believe Brett Favre was the exact same age when they drafted Aaron Rodgers. But that's not the same thing. Here, listen. Okay. Poor Aaron Rodgers. Just, if you didn't know, they've never drafted a single player in the first round, which is ridiculous all in itself. The fact is that he has never had elite players to throw to, and the fact that he wins Super Bowls, he won a Super Bowl with them, is absolutely crazy. He's done so much for that team, and it's not that they're planning on replacing him. The same thing happened with Brett Favre, okay? And they ended up with Aaron Rodgers. So that's not it. But the fact is, in the second and third round, they spent picks on people like A.J. Dillon when they could have had receiving threats. I mean, honestly, they had other picks in the draft, too. I mean, for goodness sakes, James Prochet, a really good wide receiver for SMU, went in the 6th round. Gabriel Davis for UCF, very good receiving threat for UCF, went in the 6th round. Isaiah Hodges, I think his name is, from Oregon State. He was pretty good for Oregon State. He went in the 7th round. There was literally talent every single round at receiver, and they didn't draft any of it. They thought, you know what? You know what we need? A running back to play with Aaron Jones, but not just any running back. Not J.K. Dobbins. Not Jonathan Taylor. Let's not try to get any of those guys. Or DeAndre Swift. Or Zach Moss. Let's draft A.J. Dillon. Who cares about receivers? We don't need Denzel Mims and other good receivers. We have Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I mean, he's as good as any receiver in this draft. Tight end. That's another position of need. But let's not draft Adam Troutman or any other good tight end like Cole Kmet. Nope. Let's draft someone that isn't even on anyone's radar. I feel like that was what happened in the Packers war room. I feel like that's what they did. They're also, like, ridiculously stupid. It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, they made the NFC Championship next year, and they're like, okay, you know what? It was a good run. I don't want to win the NFC North this year. Tanking for love, just letting love grow. It's ridiculous, and it's idiotic. And honestly, I don't know who the heck's going to win the NFC North next year, and it might be the gosh dang Lions, because the Packers had a horrible draft. The Vikings, literally, just their entire roster was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. And then the Bears just don't know what the heck to do at quarterback, and it seems like the Lions are the most stable team, and when you're saying that is absolutely a ridiculous sentence. NFC North is a mess, but if we won't... the NFC East is even more of one. It's ridiculous. Like, the fact is the NFC South and the NFC West should send 100% of the 7 teams. Like, every single one of the 7 teams should come from those 2 conferences. Like, the other 2 are ridiculously. They're going to be bad, and it's just going to be weird. Like, I can name, like, okay, so I think 3 teams from the NFC West could easily make it. Like, easy. I think Seahawks, 49ers, and Cardinals are all great teams. The NFC South, I mean, obviously the Saints and the Bucks are both great teams. And I bet the Falcons could be, they're one of those teams that you're like, they had a bad draft, but they had a good offseason, and I don't know. They could be good next year. They could be bad next year. I honestly don't know. The Falcons could be both. I don't know. It's going to be weird. But I don't understand the Packers' strategy in drafting this year. It was idiotic. I mean, I'm not upset. Because if the Packers just had a little bit of worse of a year this year, the Saints would have gotten the number 2 seed. And then we would have gotten to play the Seahawks and been prepared for them instead of having to play the Vikings. And then we all know what happened there. Kyle Rudolph pushed off and got a touchdown in overtime. But anyways, I hope you guys are actually enjoying these videos. They do have to take a lot of time to put together, and I really thought it was a good idea because I looked on the internet because I was interested in watching a video like this, and I couldn't find it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try and put together a video like this. And honestly, I didn't think I could do it. I had to do a lot of research on, number one, how to make these videos longer than, like, 10 minutes, because if you don't know, that is how long you can record it on the Xbox without, having to go back and hit the record button again. But I'm going to make this a little tutorial for anyone who wants to make a Madden video or any video recorded on the Xbox longer than half an hour. Okay, since probably no one's going to watch this, could be a helpful tutorial to someone who accidentally clicks on it. But for those people who accidentally clicked on it, just go back and watch the other videos, please. They're very good. Just this game is not the best. But other games are really interesting. The Pac-12 FCS Division II, Division III game was incredibly interesting. Very good game. Went into overtime, so very good game. Go check that out. The ACC Big 12 was a back and forth between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, so that was very exciting. And Sun Belt FCS Division II, Division III was good. And Conference USA Big 12 was also a good one. So go check those out. They're very good. So, just go check them out. Go check them out. But now we're back on the subject. So, if you want to record your video, but it's like half an hour long, like I said, it's a long in video. Here's what you need to do. You need to get a USB, not just any USB. I think it's like a 3 gigabyte or something. I don't know. It's not the normal USB. It's a little bit bigger than that. Then you need to take that and you need to change it. Dang it, I don't remember. You need to change the formatting style on it. Okay, like if you really want it, need a tutorial, you should go check it out. But I'm just trying to portray how difficult this is to make. It's not really that difficult. So then you have to plug in. It's not really that hard. You plug it into the Xbox, and then when you record it, go straight to the USB, and then you can take the USB to the computer. And then the way I do it, you download it to the computer, and then you take from the computer, download it to Google Drive so you can access it on your phone to edit it. So you download it from Google Drive onto your phone. And I know it seems there's probably an easier way to do all that, and you guys are all probably smarter than me. That's just the only way I figured out how to do it, though. So, I mean, if you're really interested. By the way, if this video gets to 10 likes, I'll probably do it anyways, and if anyone comments, like, anything about it, but, here's what I'm thinking. If anyone's really interested, I will, download this roster to the Madden servers, so, people can download it and, have fun trying to make their own rosters. I mean, have fun with these teams, like being the SEC or being the FCS Division 2, Division 3 team. Or even, like, if you're up for a challenge, you can try winning as the Sun Belt. I mean, that must be incredibly difficult considering stuff in that division. And just, you would be in the same conference as, let me think. Oh, that's it, Conference USA. So, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that hard to win the division, considering all the best players from the Redskins and Giants were taken away, which means that no players from the Redskins and Giants were taken away. But, anyways, it does take a lot of effort to make these videos. If you could, just smash the like button, subscribe, get me that 17th subscriber. That's my life's goal and mission in life. Just hit those 2 buttons. Hit all the buttons, just except for the unsubscribe button and the dislike button. Obviously, don't hit those buttons, but every button, just click all the buttons and get me popular. But, anyways, let's go back to NFL talk since we have about 9 minutes left in this video. I understand a lot of people have probably skipped out by now because it's a horrible game, but honestly, go back to the NFL speech and talk. The NFC East and the NFC North is so wide open that I think, personally, that we could have 2 really surprise candidates on these teams. I mean, 2 surprising teams make the playoffs. And here's my reasons for both, okay? In the NFC North, I think it's super crazy, okay? You got the Packers, who just had a horrendous offseason, okay? You have the Vikings, who just had a mass exodus. Everyone left Minnesota. And I just don't think it's a very good place to play, honestly. It just seems like Mike Zimmer doesn't treat you well. It just doesn't seem like a good place, and place I'd want to play if I was a player. But honestly, you have Mike Zimmer is just not a head coach, good head coach. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. And then finally the Bears. I don't know what the heck the Bears are doing, and honestly, never mind. I'm going to take it back. I think the Bears are a somewhat good team. Okay, and here's why. At the end of the year, Mitchell Trubisky started looking considerably better, and do you know why? It's because they changed their scheme to match Mitchell Trubisky's talents. And that's what you need to do. Let the guy run. He's good at running the ball. It's like saying to Josh Allen, you are not allowed to run. That just takes away a whole part of his dynamic and his playmaking ability. Again, it's not like I don't think Mitchell Trubisky is that much worse than Josh Allen. I actually think they're about the same. But you know why the Josh Allen took the Bills to the playoffs this year, and the Mitchell Trubisky didn't? It's because Sean McDermott embraced that, and is like, yeah, Josh Allen, run. And, for some reason, they didn't want to do that with Trubisky, and that's why he looked considerably better at the end of the year, was because they were like, run, fine. But, yeah, that's my opinion. Okay, so we have about 7 more minutes here, but that's, in my opinion, I think the Bears could end up getting a wild card spot, in my opinion. But I really like the Lions' chances this year. This is their year, in my opinion. You have, I wouldn't say a strong defense, but you have some players there. Trey Flowers can make plays. You have Jeff Okuda, and I'm hype on this guy. I honestly think he's the best corner in the draft. A lot of people were saying it's C.J. Henderson. I really do think he is Jeff Okuda. Jeff Okuda is a great corner. He shuts down a lot of people. So, Okuda, 100%. That's who they should have taken. I hear a lot of people at number 3 like, they should have taken Simmons. I'm guessing. I don't know. I heard something about trading with the Dolphins, and honestly, I would have been all for that. From a Lions perspective, that would make a lot of sense. Okay, if they traded with the Dolphins, you would have guaranteed yourself landing either Simmons or Okuda, or you could have, the way it worked out, you couldn't you would have had choice again if the Dolphins were willing to trade up, and you could have added an extra pick. So that would have definitely been impressive for the Lions. Unfortunately, we weren't able to pull off a trade like that. But they definitely have a very strong offense this year. I mean, if you look at it, it's crazy. You have Matt Stafford coming back, and the offense with Matt Stafford was crazy good. It was really good until he hurt himself. And they honestly had some of the closest games all year last year. Even without Stafford, all of their games that they lost were close ones. They barely lost to the Chiefs. They barely lost to the Packers. They should have won against the Packers. They barely lost to the Raiders, and that's all the games before Stafford got hurt. Okay? Adding on top of that, though, you have not just Stafford, but you return your entire receiving core from last year, which was crazy. You have Amendola, Kenny Golladay, and Marvin Jones Jr., which by itself, crazy, talented receiving core there. Adding on top of that, though, you have tight end TJ Hawkinson that you drafted in the first round last year, and obviously you think he's good. He was hurt last year, but TJ Hawkinson definitely has talent and can make big-time plays for you. His backup, Noah Fant, was drafted in the first round as well, so you can see the fact that Hawkinson was on top of Fant in the depth chart. That's how talented this guy is. T.J. Hawkinson is very talented. Also adding on top of that, Jesse James, a very talented Steelers tight end for a long time, is also on that team and can make plays for him. Okay, let's talk about the running back core. Okay, they now have Kerryon Johnson. Okay, who we all, never mind. Not everyone agrees, because no one agrees on everything. Like, legit, no one. But Kerryon Johnson was a very good running back for them last year. Adding on top of that, they also drafted DeAndre Swift, and Bo Scarborough turned out to be a very good addition last year. And they have 3 solid running backs, especially DeAndre Swift. I was telling you during the draft process, DeAndre Swift is probably the 3rd best running back in this draft class. I know that doesn't sound great, but if you think about it, they weren't in the need. They wanted more of a guy that can catch passes. That's just not Kerryon's deal. Wait, I don't know. I don't know a lot about Kerryon. I don't know why I'm making stuff up about Kerryon when I don't know anything about him. But I do think the Lions are very talented. And honestly, they're my pick to win the NFC North this year because of their talent levels. So, anyways, it's official. The SC Browns are going to the Super Bowl. They are going to have a chance to play and compete for the title of the best conference. Anyways, it's been a pleasure serving you guys. Oh, wait, never mind. I have a long time left. Okay, let's just talk about more stuff here. So, SEC is going to have to go back to the room. I got to go start planning for next week's game. They won 60-3, and if they can continue this domination in the Super Bowl, then they'll be the best conference. But they definitely have played 2 far inferior opponents to the one they're going to end up playing in the Super Bowl. Whether it's the ACC or the Big Ten, they're going to end up playing a team that is 1 overall lower than them or the exact same overall. So I wouldn't be too cocky if I was the Browns. It's definitely going to be a great game next. Let me count. Let's see. This comes out on Friday. It's Friday, so Saturday is the first episode of the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So join us if you don't want to watch the big game on Wednesday of next week. You're going to get to see this big Super Bowl, see who is crowned the best conference in college football. But anyways, I'd like to say some stuff before you go. It takes a lot of effort and hard work to make these videos. It takes a lot of support from my mom and dad to let me, spend time, because it takes about half an hour to voice these things and half an hour to record them. So it definitely drop some likes for those. It takes a lot of hard work, and it makes me hell happy when I get likes. So just make me happy. Make me and Puppers the happiest people on earth. I mean, why not? There's nothing that hurts you by doing that. Anyways, hit the subscribe button. Give me my 17th subscriber, please. I beg of you, just subscribe. I don't care who you are, just subscribe. If you're watching the end of this video, subscribe. Give me that 17th dude. But thank you guys for watching. It does take a lot of work. So, yeah, again, please subscribe. Anyways, this is GGB Ghost Pepper saying adios, amigos.